Hello and welcome to the OverShadow ShadowCast with your host Thomas Anderson and Tech Wizard Abigail.
Why did you say my name like that? I mean, there's no need.
Moment. Oh, come on, that was good.
No.
Okay, well, I was trying to be spooky because this is...
No, we're not going to be spooky.
Not going to be spooky at all. Ladies and
No.
gentlemen, there is no man with an axe behind you.
No, because we had planned on reading scary stories, and then I found out that some of it's protected and stuff like that.
Aye.
So we can't actually do that, and I don't actually know which stories we can use yet or not. Because I was asking for Tommy confirmation of what we were actually doing today. I found out recently that a lot of it's protected because I watch Jenna and Julian do podcasts, and they do scary stories, and then they found out that some of it was protected, and they're working with the authors and stuff like that now. But so that put a damper on everything.
I was just thinking that as you were explaining that, that saying a specific day to our listeners might not actually be helpful.
It's Sunday.
Yeah. Hey, no, shh.
I work, you work / study.
Yeah, fair enough. Anyway, the point is it was the day before, but that's because I have this massive report. I've had to cancel.
Literally, I asked you, I don't know how many times throughout the week, and you could literally just look at it and go, are we? No. Are we? Yes.
No, I mean, I can't. My phone is broken. I literally can't do that.
Well, you're able to message me. You're able to message me yesterday.
Yeah, on the laptop, because I was at home.
Oh, right. Okay, I thought
it.
that was on your phone.
No, I was at home typing
Get a
up
new
my
phone.
essay. No, I'm going to, but I've been doing this literature review first. That's more important.
I thought you were just ignoring me throughout the week because I could see
No.
that you'd seen it, but you weren't replying.
I literally couldn't answer.
It's like, why is he ignoring me? He's
I
seen it.
tried-
He's seen the message.
I thought you knew that. That's why
No. I felt really horrible. He saw my message 5 hours ago. Why has he not responded?
No, I mean, I usually respond pretty quickly. But
Am I being friend ghosted here or something?
No, I just genuinely can't type on that phone.
There's a new phrase now. It's called zombieing.
Just
ghosting.
Yeah, but this is just responding with meh.
No, this is they ghost you and then they all of a sudden just months later reply say hey or whatever.
Oh yeah. Hey. No, I see what you mean, but
If you actually ignore me for a week and then reply, I will not speak to you
No.
again. So anyway, long-winded story. No spooky stories today.
Yes.
I thought of printing off the spooky story I did, which I got quite a lot of good feedback from, but then I couldn't find it.
We'll keep looking for it.
It's called The Lighthouse. It was quite scary.
Yeah, give us.
I remember it was
keep
in
looking
secondary.
for
It was in secondary school, and I had handed it into the teacher, and the teacher just handed it to me, and he just put up his hands and just looked away and just walked away. I was like, oh my god, what have I done? And then I looked at it, and he basically just said it was an excellent story, very creepy. So I was like,
Yes, I'm creepy. Woohoo!
No, I never had a reaction to anything I'd ever written before, so it was really nice to see that.
Well, why don't you take the next 12 months and write some scary stories we can read out?
A lot of my stories used to involve vampires, even when I was little, even when I was in primary school. Could we just talk about Halloween for the next 50 minutes? Could we just not talk about Bethesda and just talk about Halloween?
Okay.
Could we quickly round up the Bethesda story? Bethesda subscription
No,
service.
just stop. Shut up.
Fake site. Fallout.
No, stop it.
I used to love Halloween. Should we quickly talk about the games we've been playing quickly, and then we can just talk about Halloween?
No, talk about Halloween first. Go ahead.
Halloween every year I'd either be a mummy or not mummy, a witch or a cat.
A witcher?
A witch or a cat.
Oh, right, sorry.
A witch or a cat. Cat or a witch.
Right, that's better. Cat or witch.
Because I could just dress up in black. Because I could never find a kiddie costume that fit me because I was a fat kid. Still fat, but I've grown into it a bit.
I've never bought a costume where we make them.
Yeah, but no.
But I don't
bought
do
a hat.
But I don't do Halloween.
You never done Halloween?
When I was 13 or something, Dad took us out because he realised that me and Brian had never once gone and all the other kids had, and maybe this was something he shouldn't have overlooked. So he and Mum got together and thought, I think we've made the wrong decision by not letting them do Halloween, so they took us out, and it was just weird.
It can
No.
be. I used to find it weird when people would give us money because people used to go guising. It wasn't trick or treating, and you were getting money for the guy, and I never understood that. And I'm like, yeah, thank you for the 40 pence. I would like a Mars bar, please.
Yeah, money
Can you not tell my physique desperately needs it?
money for the...
Money for the guy.
What is that?
I don't.
I've heard of it now, but I
Guising.
can't remember it now.
They dress up like, I think it was, you could buy materials to make the bonfire or get fireworks or something like this.
Oh, that's the thing where we ritualistically burn a Catholic who tried to fight for freedom from oppression. Oh,
Where
I
we
remember
burn
now.
an effigy of Guy Fawkes.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But let's
not
face
really-
it, nobody cares about that anymore. We literally just go to watch, ooh, fireworks.
I have no problem. Bonfire, fireworks, absolutely fine. Why are we burning an effigy of a freedom fighter?
Why do we worship
what's-
Santa Claus at Christmas time?
No, burning an effigy of a like if Guy Fawkes was black, there'd be a massive problem here.
Go ask Kit Harington, because his ancestor, I think, was Guy Fawkes as well. I
Yeah.
think so. I think that's what he said.
Or
I think
just looks
I
like
think
it.
he had a relative on both sides of that. I think I remember him talking about that. I don't know. Don't take that as fact.
Well, see, when it comes to this particular sort of historical issue, right? You could
Started talking about costumes, and now we're onto this.
Yeah, but you could attach that to Irish v British, and you could most
right,
people.
we're not going down this
No,
road.
but what I'm saying is that most people would have relatives on each side of
So anyway, I dressed up either as a witch or a cat.
a Witcher cat, the cat of a Witcher.
We used to
no,
go
so
trick or treating in our neighborhood.
is it good?
So apparently there was like this really famous haunted house, but we never got to see it. We were just never invited along to it.
That's what's haunted about it. You can't see it.
But then we moved.
Oh yes, you moved, didn't you?
But
That's a
then we were
different
still
place.
trick or treating. We used to
Yeah.
put up a gazebo in our front garden and put black bin bags on it back before before the evilness of plastic. That sounds terrible, but you know what I mean. Before it was now it would be deemed as probably wasteful, but we were trying to be atmospheric.
I'm not entirely.
I was a fortune teller.
I'm not entirely convinced that you can't make plastic from artificial means. You don't have to use fossil fuels. I'm not sure.
Anyway, we
I
put
don't think so.
black bin bags around our around the gazebo just to try and make it look like a haunted house, and yeah, we had like bowls of jelly that you had to put your hand in to get like money at the bottom and things like that. It was a lot of fun.
No, we didn't do anything like that.
And all the kids grew up and everybody moved away. So now there's no trick or treaters around us. But yeah, we still insist on buying the bags of sweets, and then we end up eating the sweets.
No, we don't buy sweets for Halloween. We do not get trick or treaters.
That was quite fortunately. Do not get trick or treaters.
No, they know they would never. Why would you go up to a door and ring the doorbell for sweeties, knowing you'll never see your parents again?
Oh, for goodness sakes, that's not how it works.
Hello.
Do you know
Trick
why?
or treat. Bang.
Do you know why? There was the whole thing about, because it happened when I was a kid. People used to say don't buy sweets that weren't in wrappers. You know, like not
Aye.
homemade sweets, was in case somebody snuck something into it.
Aye.
Apparently, that all started because it was happening. I think in America, there were some kids, and they went out trick or treating and stuff like that, and then I think that they either got very sick or one of them died from arsenic poisoning.
Aye.
But it was actually the parent who took them trick-or-treating poisoned them.
Aye.
So it wasn't something that they got, but I think that's where the whole rumour started.
I also heard a story about how in America, obviously, some questionable character, although that's nowhere near harsh enough, was sneaking razor blades into Snickers bars.
See, I think that was a rumour.
See, I'm not actually sure. I think there was one kid got hurt by something, and then it became a
know.
thing. I see. The thing is, I can understand that it might be a rumour, but too many. It's difficult with American journalism. I don't really believe a lot of it. It's difficult to say, but I do believe that there was at least one instance of it. But what might have been, that instance might have been in response to the rumour that wasn't true.
Yeah,
so
it's
somebody
like that's
spreads a
copycat.
rumour and he
Yeah.
copycats it or she copycats it, and then that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
But no, so to clarify, I did not do Halloween. I did it once Didn't like it. I went as a vampire Bob the Builder. I did all the fancy dresses at school for all the different charities, though. I enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. I went dressed up as my dad once. So I had this. I took all of his equipment out the back of the car. So I was.
I'm sure he loved that.
Oh, he gave me it.
Oh, okay. I thought you just snuck it out before you went off to work.
No, so because he was a health and safety engineer.
Yeah.
So he had all this really amazing equipment in the back of his car, like
Yeah.
pressure vacuum seals and all the rest of that stuff. And he had all the different to test for different gas leaks. He had all the different compounds, but I didn't take any of that. I just took this sort of weird voltmeter that he had, his big yellow, really, really massive high vis jacket, and his hard hat, and his old broken gas mask.
Yeah.
Like the big gas mask,
Yeah.
because he had one of those, and his was his old one that was decommissioned. And I walked around school wearing that. And just to jazz it up a bit, I got this big, because it's Red Nose Day, I got this big red badge,
Yeah.
right? And I stuck it to my groin. So I had this huge big red buzzer on top of my groin.
I think I remember that. I think
Yeah.
I remember seeing you. Here's the thing: we both went to the same secondary school,
Aye.
and even though it was a massive school, you had like about 1,300 students there.
I think it was 12
So when I started there, it was 1,200. When I left, it was 1,300.
Aye, so 12 to 13 by
Yeah.
that point.
And I must have seen that at some point.
Well, it was a high vis jacket.
Because I should have seen it. At some point.
If you didn't see it, there was a problem.
You're 2 years older than me, so
Yeah, so this you would have been in second year.
yeah.
Because this or first, because this was third or fourth year. I think it was fourth.
Quite possibly, I saw you.
There's also, by the time you were in fourth year, they did the Children in Need Day where the kids came round, the 6 years came round dressed up.
Yeah.
And I went round dressed up as Leonidas from 300. So I had
I probably remember that.
a big red cape, leather underpants, and cardboard armour on my forearms and lower legs only. And I had a wooden sword in my belt, a wooden spear, and a wooden shield in my hands.
But the rest of your team also dressed up as people from 300.
Nope.
What were they dressed up as?
Just random people. We were the collection of random people that weren't all... we knew each other, but we all wanted to do different things. So
Yeah.
we just let each other do different things.
That sounded like it was a lot of fun.
In 6th year, I also went in dressed up as a Knights Templar.
I must have seen... obviously, at some point, I would have seen you.
I may or may not have had a gigantic hammer that the teacher had to take off me.
I can't remember.
I might not have had one, but I might have had one.
I'm trying to remember. I honestly can't remember.
It was really weird doing this PGDE course that I'm doing at the minute to train to be a teacher.
Yeah.
Is the fact that I'm now learning that a vast amount of what I did as a child was illegal.
Everybody just has a massive cold sweat shiver down their back now.
No,
You're going
it
to become a teacher.
Well, see the guy who won that fancy dress, right? He was dressed up as Hitler.
We went to a weird school.
I don't think that's a problem. It's fancy dress. You can dress up as a Nazi. Like, he wasn't doing this in his everyday.
Prince Harry couldn't.
I don't see the problem with that. Like, people get all angry about it, but I don't see the problem with dressing up as a Nazi. It's if you actually believe in fascism.
Right, this started off as Halloween, was we're coming into the spooky.
No, but we're talking about costumes. Everybody's saying, oh, you can't dress up like that, you can't dress up like that, you can't dress... White guys can't dress up as ghosts because it's too close to the KKK, all that sort of nonsense. No, come on. A bit of freedom here, please.
I think I once tried to dress up at college as Oogie Boogie from Nightmare Before Christmas. And I had, like these white painter suits. I tried to paint it green or something like that, but it didn't work out, so I couldn't be that. I was really upset.
That's a shame.
I'm trying to remember this.
See, I don't put that much effort into it. It was, for me, it was fancy dress at school that I put effort into. I didn't care about Halloween, so we never did it. We don't have sweeties to hand out to people. We don't, people come to the door, we probably just ignore it. We don't go out to do it. I don't like it. I don't like the time of year. I don't like it, all that. So you go into university.
You don't like carving pumpkins?
No, I've never done it. You go into university
I'm pretty sure the pumpkins I carved.
And everybody is dressed up as something, saying, why aren't you dressed up as anything? I don't know, because I'm a real boy.
You're a real boy.
Like, what do you want? Go away.
That was one of the pumpkins I carved one year.
What is it?
Oh, hold on. That's supposed to be a razor.
Oh, a flick razor.
So, can you guess what that's supposed to be then?
That's a flick razor cutting someone's major arteries.
No. that is like Sweeney Todd. So that's the person in a barber's chair. That's the trap door, and that's their head. Do you see that? Like, that's their feet. So they're like that.
Oh, I don't know how Sweeney Todd works.
You've never heard the story of Sweeney Todd?
Nope.
Right. Okay.
No,
Sweeney Todd.
No, don't tell me the story of Sweeney Todd.
Why?
Because it's probably copyrighted.
And probably from the Penny Dreadful. That was what it used. That was what it was published in. You can't copyright a story. I'm just going to give you the head. Like, basically,
okay, that's fine.
There was a barber called Sweeney Todd, and I knew
he'd slice some throats and stuff, but I don't know the specifics.
But the idea is that he'd be in a barber's chair, and that he rigged it up so that there was a trapdoor behind roughly behind the barber's chair. So when he killed people, he would flip them back. They would go down a chute into basically a giant meat grinder, and then they would be ground into mince pies. And then I think it was like Mrs. Lovett. I don't know if that was just part of the Johnny Depp movie, but the Tim Burton movie. But he basically made them into meat pies, and then they sold them for profit. That's why people were scared of going to barbers for a while, I think. But they made a TV series called, I think, Penny Dreadful, because that took from an actual creepy newspaper that used to go around in Victorian times.
Yeah, no, I know. I've heard of Penny Dreadfuls. Yeah.
But anyway, we have gone far too off topic.
Yeah, I just don't like Halloween. It's also the whole original point of it was to try to ward off ghouls by being as scary as them. I think it's a Scottish invention, Halloween.
No, it's not. It's Irish. Would you like to hear the story of Jack-o'-lantern? I do actually know that story pretty much off by heart.
Go ahead.
Well, I think there's a few variations. The variation I heard was that there was a very drunk... I don't want to stereotypical. There was basically a guy called Jack, and I can't remember his surname, and he was Irish, and he tricked the devil by telling him to go up a tree. And so he did, and he said, I don't think you'll be able to get back down if you go up that tree. So the devil went up the tree, and then what he did was he stuck loads of crosses in the ground. Well, so the devil couldn't come back down. And he was really happy that he tricked the devil, and I think then the devil cursed him to wander the land or something like that. I used to know the story off by heart. He used to wander the land, or he would send things, and he had to have a lantern up. But obviously it wasn't originally a pumpkin, it was something else.
Right.
To help him light his way. That is a terrible story. I thought I knew that story off by heart. It turns out I didn't.
But that's a story that explains some of the particulars about it, but not the origin of Halloween.
Halloween, no, I think it's a Celtic thing.
Yeah, it was originally...
a pagan thing.
Well,
everything's always...
Yeah, it was a pagan ritual that became All Hallows Eve.
The reason why people say that women ride broomsticks is because apparently, you know how you traditionally would ride a broom, if you get what I mean? It's the other way around. So the bristles are at the front, and you hop on like that, and then they jump about.
Right.
That's what I once heard. That's where the myth of witches riding brooms come from.
What? Let me just put that sentence into context there, Abigail. You said, you know how you normally ride a broom?
It's stereotypical.
How you normally ride a broom? Wait, what? No. So witches
in Harry Potter.
So witches didn't come up with broom riding. What they did was just spin it around a bit. The rest of us were flying around on our brooms fine, and they just went, no, I'm going the other way. Basically, what they were was a menace to air traffic control. Disobeying all the rules of the road, just doing whatever they wanted, going the wrong way down the side of the cloud, whatever they felt like doing, and that's why we had to get rid of them all. They're a menace.
You're a menace.
Right. Let's get to the stories that we want to discuss. Actually, no, we're not going to.
We're going to talk about The Division 2.
We're going to talk about what we've been playing.
Yes, so The Division 2.
What have you been playing
other than
The Division 2?
Nothing.
Oh, right, okay.
We played The Division 2, and we also bought The Division 2.
Yeah, we did.
Because it was heavily reduced.
It was heavily reduced in concentrated fat.
It was like, what was it? It was from £60 and we got it for, what is it, 20 or something like that?
20.99.
So £21.
Right.
He said I forgot I had a voucher, so it meant it was free for me. No, it was I got a £30 voucher. So
You got a £30 voucher, so you got it for free, and whatever. I paid for it, and it's fine because I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So we go on to the stories now.
No. I just realised I faked not having anything else to say because I just said that's going to be a lot of fun. And then just pulled this weird, like, bored face and sat saying that. And then you actually went, yeah, I'm bored now, let's move on. Like, no, let's talk about what we did.
I can't remember what we did.
Oh my god.
It was a while ago. A lot of it is quite samey.
It was last week. It was last week.
You died and I've panicked.
Oh yeah, I got blown up. Yeah, so there was a guy wandering around with lots of armour and a grenade launcher, so I got hit. I tried to revive you, but I kept getting hit. Yeah, the problem was that you hold the button down in the Division to do anything.
Yeah.
But the problem was we didn't know that was... I mean, that's common for revives anyway.
No, I knew I had to do that, but the problem is I kept getting hit, and every time I got hit, it kept kicking me.
Oh, right, I didn't know that. I thought you kept letting go of the button.
No, it kept hitting me, so it kept, like, doing that.
Oh.
And then I panicked because you died and I didn't know what to do and I was running around like headless chicken.
That probably kept you alive because that guy's grenade launcher just hits the ground basically.
Imagine if this was like in real life and I was just like running.
Yeah, they take one guy out and then they just notice the one guy left's just running around in circles, just shooting with a sniper into the air.
But this has pretty much been a constant battle for me to try and get better loot than you. Because I was constantly getting better loot than the beginning.
That's why you like this game, basically. We spawned into the game because we played it for free before, and we're playing it for free before we bought it. Then. Yeah. And you...
I was worried I wouldn't still have all my stuff.
Yeah, you were terrified. You got in and you did, and you had your character, and you had your stuff, and we had the powers. So we've set up our powers to not have the same two, basically.
Yeah.
And you... Like, my turret's incredible.
Yeah.
But I've got that shield so I can distract if there's little cover and I need to draw fire from you. But you had this rifle, right, with a scope on it. Never scrap the scope. You always have to remember to take the scope off. So you had this rifle and it was amazing. And I remember like just being so bummed that you got this amazing rifle and I got nothing basically from the previous mission we did. But I had a couple of decent assault right, like LMG. Yeah, but
you started getting good stuff.
Yeah, and when I was playing, I started getting good stuff as well. I got an LMG and a shotgun and a rifle to pick from, that sort of thing. An assault rifle, but I don't have any really long range stuff. And I thought, okay, so you can go medium to long, and I'll go long to short, and it'll be fine, right? Mm-hmm. But you got the perfect accompaniment to the rifle because you ended up getting, like, I got some random tat that I had to destroy. You ended up getting an automatic shotgun. Like, those short to medium range, those are killers. So all the ranges are covered with you.
Yeah.
That you can just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And then you also have the satchel charge. The satchel charge was funny because you couldn't work out how to use it. So you kept throwing it. So I'd just be shooting and I'd see the satchel charge come over my head, land on the ground, and then just... Because in the Division, you've got to... Like, the power recharge is a massive cooldown. I think it's like 90 seconds for most stuff. I got
confused with what it was.
If you hold the button to destroy it yourself once you're done using it, right?
Yeah.
It will just break, and it's half the cooldown time. I can do it with my turret.
Yeah.
So all I saw was this satchel land in front of me, and then just burst like confetti. Eventually, you worked out how to do your other grenade, which was an incendiary. So you can chuck a couple of those, and then an area just goes poof, and everything on it goes on fire.
Oh no, that's not. It's a gun that you need to shoot off, which sets off gas, and you need to shoot at the gas for it to spark.
Right. So you go toom toom toom, and then those things land, and then you shoot it, and it goes toom.
Yeah.
So I just saw, all I heard is toom, toom, toom. And then these wee balls smack this guy in the face. Red lines everywhere, red circles on the ground. And I'm like, what is going on? Is this like a disco weapon? What's happening here? And then all I heard was, I think he might have shot, or you did shooting. And then, doof, he goes up, screaming his head off, like, ah! Completely in a ball of flame.
Yeah.
And I'm just...
Because I forgot what that happened.
Because we couldn't remember what it was.
I can't remember anything, so I was literally just hitting random buttons, and I kept hitting you sometimes by mistake.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out how to get because we were like trying to be sneaky, and I went to go get my scope out. This is like when we first started this mission, and I just kept accidentally shooting off rounds.
Yeah, so I was like, can you use the scope to see what's down the end of that corridor?
Which just alerted our enemies.
I honestly, right, that's now funnier than it was before. Because I thought you were shooting them.
No, I was.
You were just telling them you were there.
I couldn't remember how to get the scope.
Blam, blam, blam. I'm here, guys.
I couldn't remember how to get the scope up.
So we did that. The best thing for me was when we were inside that sort of weird sort of like museum where they had set up the enemy had set up a defence next to a helicopter exhibit where it was a Vietnam War exhibit. And there was a minigun that they had loaded, and they were able to shoot the room with the minigun, right?
Yeah.
So you were at the back with the sniper, and I was trying to get close to annoy him so you could shoot him, right?
Yeah.
And that was when you set him on fire. But after you set him on fire, you then pulled out the shotgun, which I still hadn't seen in action. And over the top of my head, I just saw what you'd have to say was divine retribution slam into this guy. Because every single pellet from a shotgun blast has this little white line behind it so that everybody can see where it's going.
I can't see it.
Well, it's for the rest of us to see where, because we're watching the bullets fly past, like from the side. You're right behind me.
Yeah.
And so we can see where these bullets are going, right?
Yeah.
It's maybe not a white line, but that's what it looks like. It's probably the pellets themselves. So what I'm seeing is just this like wave of white hit him, just. You might as well be opening up on him with an anti-aircraft cannon. Like, it's just wham, 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 wham. And it's over the top of my head or shoulder. Just this... And this guy, who was supposed to be in full body armour with a minigun, just gets set on fire and then annihilated. Like, there shouldn't have been anything of him from his hips up.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, how are we going to take this guy out? We were in the fight for like a minute or two with this guy. And then, oh, he's dead. Like, I started to feel sorry for him. It was like the police were in a standoff, right, with the bad guys. And then Batman just lands behind and goes, and then disappears. It's like...
I'm trying to remember that specific point. I can't really. I think he was like, "Oh, did you do that?" I was like, "Yeah." And then you turn around and was like, "Oh my god, what's that?" And I was like, "It's a gun."
Yeah, and you kept saying, "Hold on, I need to get all my loots. I have all my loots now."
Need to get my loots.
Yeah, we're a good team in that.
Yeah.
Like when we were fighting the boss in that one, you went up high to use your sniper.
Well, you suggested I should do that.
Yeah, that's a good one to do. And I ran around it just... I sat next to you, but I was the one who would have gone downstairs if there was any need. But we were taking them out so quickly, there was no point.
Yeah.
And...
Have we accidentally left on easy or something like that?
No. I think it's a standard difficulty for the first time you play it.
Okay.
The one issue was when you got poisoned by the main boss of that particular fight.
I can't remember.
You got poisoned and I had to run up and save you while standing in the poison.
Oh dear.
But I was able to do it. But one thing I was trying to get you to do that I couldn't quite get you to do was when we were keeping the guys pinned at the bottom, he was on a ramp of equal height to us to the right. So you should have used your shotgun on him because you'd have annihilated him where he was.
Yeah.
I couldn't quite get you to do it.
Oh well.
But
I'll learn from
in
next
future,
time.
if you've got a shotgun like that...
I couldn't remember how to vault over things.
Oh, yeah, sorry, in future, if you've got a shotgun like that, just keep an eye out, because it's not about you were doing well killing all the guys on the ground. The point was that you've got to maximise your efficacy.
Yeah.
So I could take care of them while you got the boss out, and then we could take care of them again. Because all I would need to do is hold them off while you got rid of him.
Yeah.
And to do with vaulting, because it started us off at the White House sort of like safe area, you can't do a lot of the things you do. Like you can't pull out your gun and shoot. You can't melee attack.
But I thought you could.
Vault.
I remember I could
No,
do that.
you could never do that there. But once you get out to it and out of it into the sort of like, it's like an allied safe zone around it, but it's not the safe zone.
You have the safe zone, and then you've got basically kind of like a secondary zone around
Yeah,
it.
like a perimeter around the White House, but it's not a
like
safe zone in the
yeah.
fact that you could be in a fight there.
Yeah, not exactly a combat zone, but something akin to it. A combat zone would be the rest of the
Yeah, it's theoretically possible that at some point in the game someone attacks that
barrier.
and you're having a fight in that area.
Yeah.
Whereas the White House is a safe zone.
There's a word for it, but I can't think of what it is.
Yeah.
No man's land kind of thing.
Aye, but it's manned, so that's the problem.
Well, I don't know.
Do you know what it is? It's like if you consider in World War One Britain to be a safe zone because like nobody
Don't
was.
say it's France.
It's the trench.
Do you mean the channel?
No, the trench in a battle.
Yeah.
In World War One, it's not it's theoretically possible that the enemy could attack it.
I thought you were gonna you're gonna say France or something. I'm like, don't say that.
But it's theoretically possible. I'd say Belgium, but it's theoretically possible. I'm thinking that the enemy could attack it, but at this point they're not, so everything's quite fine.
Yes.
But that's where we learned how to vault.
Yes.
But you just kept running up and ramming your head and groin off of everything, trying to vault it in the White House. Like, geez, calm down, woman. It's outside. And then when you did vault, you did it about once and then left. You never did it again.
No, I did. I did loads of times. Just didn't
No, but in combat. But you weren't just going wee.
I found it really difficult. I still find it really difficult when you change cover because you have to press A
and hold it.
Yeah, but the problem is the fact I find it difficult to get out and into cover quite a bit.
It's
quite fiddly.
It's not a bad system. It's just one that you need to get used to, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen bad systems where you're like stuck in the cover and you really can't get out.
But maybe we'll play a bit more this week.
Yeah, I'm hoping to be able to play some on.
Don't need to give a date, but you could just tell me.
Monday/Wednesday.
Yeah.
Have you been playing anything else? No.
I have not been playing anything else. So shall we move on to stories?
You're not asking me if I've played.
Have you played anything else? We don't have time, I'm afraid.
Okay, let's go.
We've been doing this for a while, so we need to move on.
Right. Okay, that's fine. I was just going to say I played a bit of Forza while doing a bit of listening to stuff.
Right. Bethesda. Stop doing that. Actually, stop.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about Bethesda and how they have created a new subscription service, a VIP, in quotation marks, subscription service.
Oh, do you want to do my job now?
Yes. So it contains... So basically you pay for it and it contains 1,050 atoms a month. You apparently have private worlds for 8 players.
I actually wrote this out to be read in a specific way to begin with. And like you missed out after, like I said, I even had like an intro of after delaying Wastelanders, Bethesda have introduced Fallout First. Fallout's VIP subscription service.
It contains 1,650 atoms. And you apparently have private worlds.
Again, because I was screaming over the top
I've already
of
said it twice.
So
1,650 atoms a month. You get private worlds for up to 8 players, unlimited crafting component storage, a placeable fast travel point, icons and emotes, and the New Vegas Ranger outfit.
So
I don't have my dyslexic glasses on.
So we'll just explain. 16.
That's glasses I have because more because I can't read a
That's
white paper.
part of your dyslexic outfit for Halloween, isn't it? Your glasses. You've got a dyslexic hat.
I'm not going as a dyslexic person. That's my everyday outfit.
A dyslexic beard. But it's all just on wrong. So you've got the glasses on your chin and the hat on your face, the beard on your head.
You don't understand. I fear, because you want me to read some essay about dyslexia that you've written.
No, it's not about there's a very small component about dyslexia. There's a very small component.
You've gotten very serious there.
It's a very small component about dyslexia. This is a very important literature review, right? It's got people breathing down my neck to have this done for tomorrow. They're called teachers.
I remember those.
Yeah. So there's 1,650 atoms a month. Remember, that doesn't really cost them anything because that's atoms you then spend in the atom shops. There's no way of getting anything. It's just pointless money. It's not actually money. It's just whatever, right? Basically, what you're doing is that's £16.50, right? Probably $16.50 as well. That's
well, the VIP subscription service cost roughly $13 a month. I have seen somebody that said it was $12 a month, but
yeah, it's
we'll
probably
say 12 or 13. It's $12 or $13 a month, or $100 a year. That's roughly I actually went on their website and it's pounds. It's £11.99 a month or £99.99 for the year.
Yeah, so it's actually...
That's according to their actual website.
Right, and it's $100 a year or £100 a year, so we're getting done again. But the $16.50 isn't that much because while it's £16.50 in real world monies, if you were to buy the atoms alone, most likely, I think the conversion is 1 to 100. The point is that the amount of money they have to actually put in to making that stuff is nowhere near that.
Yeah.
The private worlds are basically just, instance worlds for just you and your friends.
Yeah, because we talked about this before. I said, it's quite annoying when you have just random people running around when you're trying to play.
Yeah, so it's like in GTA, you can have crew-specific ones. I think this is what we were talking about, and Star Trek. You can have crew-specific worlds.
Yeah, where there's a limited amount of people, or either just you and a friend, or you and a selected
bunch of randomers. Crew, that's why we created a crew. You can have a closed crew session that only me and Brian and other people of our crew can get in.
Yeah.
So when we do the heists, because we think we've got 4 people now, when we do the heists, you guys would join our crew, and then you would be in.
Yeah.
And anybody who wanted to do the heists with us would do it that way, because we don't truck with this whole nonsense of having everybody in, because you just find one guy cutting about in a jet.
Yes, but let's not go back to that. Let's not go back to a year and a half ago where you were talking about people kamikazing into mountains.
Yeah.
Is that an actual phrase? Have I just insulted somebody? If I have, I'm sorry.
No, I think you're fine with that.
Okay.
So the instance worlds for just a group of people. I don't know why it's limited to 8. That's a bit small, but anyway. Unlimited crafting component storage. So the whole game is find stuff, break it down, build new stuff. So to be able to keep all the story, that makes sense. But I don't know why you would limit it in the first place, to be honest. Placeable fast travel point. Because what you do is you place this, you're able to fast travel to this area, and it gives you things like a sleeping bag and like a food preparation area.
Is that the first thing that we kind of happened upon? It was like a crafting area.
No, that was the camp.
Yeah, that's what.
But this is just the camp is like the big. You can build like a mansion and a defensible turret system and all the rest of it, all linked to the camp.
Okay.
Whereas this is just you put this point down, you can fast travel to it, and it has little things there for you to just immediately do whatever it is you're doing.
Yeah.
Icons and emotes nobody cares about, and the New Vegas range outfit. Now this is a slap in the face because the whole point is that the New Vegas was the setting for the Obsidian made Fallout game, Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah.
And the Rangers were a big part of this.
Mm-hmm.
They were part of the end. They were part of the keeping the Mojave Wasteland safe as best they could, right?
Yeah.
And people have been wanting. I mean, people love that outfit. It looks amazing, and people have been wanting that outfit in this game.
Mm-hmm.
And they've decided to put it in. This is exclusive for VIP subscribers.
Yeah.
Now, there's 2 things I've got to say about this. See, if you get rid of the VIP subscription and you put this outfit in for like £2.50, you'd make more money from that than from the subscription. Secondly, do you know what game came out recently? Or is due to come out recently?
The Outer Worlds.
Made by?
Bethesda?
Nope. That wouldn't make sense at all. Made by?
Microsoft.
No. I just said their name while talking about the people who made New Vegas.
Did Abigail zone out? Yes, she did. Obsidian.
Yes. So that's the point. That's them. Like everybody's been saying to
I
Bethesda.
went to a different world halfway through what you were talking about.
I was an outer world.
Indeed.
So they were talking about, like everybody's been talking about how it's a shame that Bethesda can't make a proper Fallout game. Whereas Obsidian have made a Fallout-esque game, and the best Fallout game you could argue is New Vegas as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that that's them trying to slap Obsidian down, and it's not going to work. It just makes them look stupid.
No. But shall we talk about all the negativities of this?
I think we'll go back to that point you said about the money, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Just to round off what you were saying about the money, the VIP charges a monthly subscription of $13 a month. It might be something like $12.80 or $75 or something like that. Maybe that's why you hit $12.
Oh, some people are saying $12. Some people are saying $13. I'm going to guess it's more close to $12 if we're paying $11.99. Because if they're paying it is definitely $100 a year.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it just looks like that would be more accurate.
I think it's probably higher to try and get as much money as possible. But I think it's probably something like $12.70.
Okay, so anyway, so it's
$12.50.
Okay.
Anyway, so a subscription of $13 a month /12.
Okay.
Or $100 a year. For us, that's £12 a month. Did you say, or £100?
On their website.
Yeah.
It's $11.99 or $99.99.
Right. So £12 a month or 100. Now, you said that there was some negativity surrounding this.
Yes. So we have stated that part of this package is you're supposed to have a private server for up to 8 people. But anyone on the server owner's friend list can join, even if they haven't been invited. So that means, like, if I had the subscription, or if you had the subscription service, I'd be able to access it. All your friends would be able to access it. But if you ever invited somebody to join a game in Bethesda, who you have no clue.
Bethesda?
I don't know. That's what they said.
In Fallout. Oh no, Bethesda has their own game.
I think it is Fallout. Sorry, my mistake. I meant to say Fallout, not Fallout 76, because you can invite people to go on raids or whatever it is with you.
Aye.
But you won't know these people really. They'll just be a name.
Right. Okay. Got you.
You know what I mean? So you don't actually know them.
Yeah.
If they're on your friends list, they can join. They can go into your server.
Yeah.
So it's not really private.
Yeah.
Which is very, very annoying.
Because you're paying for private.
Yeah. Now, people have been finding out that scrap has been disappearing from the scrap storage that you're supposed to be getting. Now, Bethesda did state that they, first of all, said that the reason it was disappearing was that it was just originally a displaying error. But they have come out since and said, we have since found out that a small number of players have, in fact, experienced a loss of scrap items after placing them into the scrap box and loading it into a world. And that they've said that they actually said to Polygon, which I believe is don't know.
It's gaming journalism.
It's a gaming journalism. I didn't know how to describe it there for a second.
Gaming journalism.
Yeah, that they were working on a patch to fix the server, fix the server privacy as well.
Aye, yeah. The story I read about it was the guy used a box in somebody his mate's world, and then when he opened the mate's world box, he didn't find anything, so he went to his own, and it wasn't there either.
Yeah, so basically they were saying it was a displaying error, but now they're saying no, it's actually disappearing.
No, you can't find it at all, so it is gone.
Yeah, so two things which I think were the more.
I actually have an addenda, if I may, to the private world story you mentioned there. That other people were reporting that they were entering their private worlds and moving to certain areas. So going into a town or whatever to loot.
Yeah.
And coming across dead enemies and looted boxes and areas.
Right, okay.
Because what was happening was that the game was not giving them a brand new instance. It was reusing instances from other people.
Oh.
So when they stopped playing, they just gave that world to someone else and it was already looted.
That's not good. That's really not good. That's...
Yeah.
But even if, here's the thing, if you are somebody that includes loads of people on your friends lists and stuff like that, people you don't really know, and then you forget that they're there, and that one, I would never add onto a friends list somebody I actually did not know personally. Mm-hmm. I think you're like that as well. You don't really add random people into your friends lists.
No, a woman added herself to my friends list and started following me on Xbox last week.
Oh. And
her profile is a dating scam. So I reported it. What they're able to do is follow you and make friend requests.
Okay, but they can't actually add you to your friends list.
Yeah, they can, I think. But what you can then do is go in and block them if you don't know them.
I thought that the only way people could get on your friends list is if you accepted their friend request.
Well, maybe then what she did was send a request, but it was labelled. She might not have been in the friends pile, but it said has added you as a friend. So I don't know if she was in my friends list or not.
But this was a scam, did you say?
Yeah, she had no gamer score and she was advertising a website. So it's very easy for people to add other people,
That's scary.
and that you don't know.
Yeah.
And so if somebody like that was to pop into your game, you wouldn't be happy at all.
No. But you were saying that that even the Xbox Game Pass is cheaper than this.
Yeah, that's
the Game Pass is $10.99.
Aye.
Or I've written a number there and I cannot read it.
I'm not entirely sure if
I think it's supposed to be $15 or something.
Yeah.
Oh no, £1 for the first month. That's what I've written.
Yeah. I have Game Pass Ultimate until mid-2020 because Brian keeps buying me them as presents. Like birthday or Christmas.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
you know what Ultimate is, you know the difference is.
Ultimate is where you can use it on the PC and on the game.
Yeah.
Console.
It's the PC version
Yeah,
and the console
this
version
is the
and gold. That's why it's all the way till 2020.
Yeah, so that's the one that's $10.99.
Yeah. And so your subscription for Fallout is more expensive, and all you're really getting is private worlds, which don't work yet. What a surprise. But here's the thing though, right? Mm-hmm. The Game Pass now has the Outer Worlds.
So you're well happy about that.
Nobody is going to say, will I get Fallout first, or will I get hundreds of games, including the game I wish Fallout would make? Like, this is the game that they're competing with.
Yeah.
Like, in a sort of, like a franchise Pepsi versus Cola war, right?
Yeah.
This is what they're talking about, or Pepsi versus Coca-Cola, sorry. This is what this is. The two games aren't directly competing because they're not the same type of game. But the companies right now are being used in a de facto state of war for people who want real good, proper games.
Yeah.
And the fact that Obsidian are doing such a great job, and Bethesda, it's working out really well for people like us. Yeah, I've been hearing some fantastic things about the Outer Worlds. Like, I watched 20 or 30 minutes at the start of the game when I was looking at the character creator.
Yeah.
And it was a Giant Bomb EX, which means they had the makers in there talking about the game while playing it.
That's cool, yeah.
I think it's an expo or something like that, because they were it wasn't Giant Bomb playing it, it was a designated player of the game. And so I'm a bit wary about that. But the character creator is amazing. Mm-hmm. It's got all these different things, right? You can even select the dirtiness of your character and any blood they've got on their face and stuff like that. But do you know what's fantastic? They actually have a lower reason for why the character creator is in the game. They have an in-game lower reason, and the reason is that you're trying. The video at the beginning is a guy trying to save someone from a colony ship, try to defrost a frozen person on a colony ship that's been left out in space for 70 years, and you're not picking what your character looks like. He's filtering through the options for the people on board and picking the person that suits his needs. That's the lower reason for the character creator. He's looking through the passenger manifest to find the person he needs.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's really, when you've got someone that creative on your team that could come up with that.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
You're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Fallout, on the other hand, have come up with a kick in the nuts to everybody who likes their games. And if you don't like the idea of kicking someone in the nuts, this could be a kick to the teeth, kick in the stomach, kick in the back of the head. There's lots of places that this particular VIP subscription service is kicking you. The wallet.
Yes. But there's something funny did come out of this, which was...
Actually, I want to go back to something I've just mentioned, sorry. It's just very quick. But you know how we're saying that this is a paywall, and what exactly it is you're getting, whereas Game Pass you get the Outer Worlds and this. You know how people have been calling for mods?
Yes.
And the reason that Bethesda said we couldn't do it was because they needed private worlds first.
Yeah.
Now they've got them behind a subscription service. So one of the big things everybody needed to make this game playable, one of the big things that people have loved about the previous games of Skyrim and Fallout 4 was the free mods. They've locked them behind a subscription service.
No, that's not great. That's kind of underhanded there. It's not good.
You're actually trying to... I understand trying to monetize your product, but they've tried to directly monetize players' love for their games.
Yeah. Sad.
What... You know the differences between this and most games which come... Like, I was listening to something that Mr. Matty Plays was saying, right? He was talking about how this game is not an MMO. So they've tried to put a subscription service into a game which is not an MMO. So it doesn't quite make sense. Because it's not the Old Republic, it's not the Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah.
So a subscription service doesn't work. Now, you buy the Elder Scrolls Online for a one-off fee, and then you can play most of the content. You can buy DLC packs and play most of it, or you can join a subscription service, right? The Old Republic, pardon me, is play it for free. Remember I showed you the start of that character creator thing when you got your computer. The Old Republic is free, or you can pay for the subscription service.
Yeah.
So you get a benefit, but you can play it for free if you want, and that's fine. This doesn't work like this, because those are MMOs. This is not an MMO. It doesn't work like that. And so what they've tried to do is monetize it like an MMO when it isn't one. It's more like an online adventure game, not a massively multiplayer online role-playing game.
Mm-hmm.
And so it doesn't quite work that they've tried to do this. But they've then locked what people really wanted behind paywalls, using that subscription service that they've tried to rip off from the other games. So what I'm trying to suggest is that this represents their attempt to monetize the game as much as possible, not actually build a game that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because subscription services in MMO make sense.
Yeah.
But subscription services, I mean, this would be like a subscription service for me to play Halo online. Like the multiplayer in Halo was made subscription.
Right, okay.
Like, if they put a subscription on Grand Theft Auto online, that wouldn't work.
No.
They just overnight they would drain most of their player base. The way this game should work is now invalid because they put a subscription service to it. It's comparing what it's worth. Like the MMOs I mentioned and their subscription services make sense, right?
Yeah.
It's what I'm trying to say is that those games didn't work very well when they were released.
Mm-hmm.
And so I might have taken a bit of a roundabout way to say this, but those games didn't work very well when they were released, right? They worked on them and worked on them and worked on them, and now they're better. Remember, I'm talking about the fact that the Old Republic actually bugged me out of finishing, and yet I still think it's an enjoyable game. That's how much I enjoyed parts of it.
Yeah.
They've probably fixed that particular issue. I was probably unlucky that I just happened to get there when it wasn't working, right?
Yeah.
But the stuff around that game, there's lots of stuff in it, and it was a lot of fun. They changed their subscription model when they realised it wasn't working to make it fairer, and they've done really well. The same with the Elder Scrolls Online. They've worked really hard and done really well. They're taking it the other way. They're putting in a subscription rather than taking away a layer of subscription to try and make more money. The other guys were trying to make a better game. So you have to then look at, you can forgive the Elder Scrolls and the Old Republic for releasing not finished. Because while that's unforgivable in and of itself, you could class that as a failure, right?
Yeah.
They didn't succeed they made a few mistakes, basically, right? So they made a mistake, they didn't get the game out, they made mistakes in the way they designed it, but they worked hard and fixed it. They didn't get the game debugged properly before they released it. That can sometimes happen, and it's not acceptable, but it's tolerable. They made a mistake and they fixed it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's respect in that. You want it to be as good as possible, but that's just them not having done a good job, right? The difference is with Fallout 76, and I think it's almost unique in this aspect. Anthem would be another one that kind of joins in with it, is that they just didn't try. That's the problem here, is that they just didn't. It's not a case of, the game released with a few bugs, a buggy mess, and they had to fix it, but they did and they worked hard, well done. It's a case of, this game was never going to work. There is nothing here worth doing.
And all you ever hear is just negative things about this. It's kind of just getting monotonous. Do you know what I mean? It's just.
But the issue with Fallout 76 is the fact that when they released that game, it was a game that it was disrespectful to the player base and to the fans. It was a kick in the teeth because it wasn't a game that just had some bugs that didn't work properly. It was a game that had nothing in it for you to want to do that then also didn't work properly. They took out the NPCs. They took out the a lot of the lore almost, because they went so far back. They took out the story aspect and the cookie side quests. They took all of it out, and then on top of that, after making it so empty, it still didn't work. See, if they'd really gone for it, like the other games did, and made mistakes, people can forgive that. You can't forgive this, which was just a blatant not attempt. So when you're starting to look at what it's worth to do, it's a full-priced game plus a massive subscription service, which could, if you change that subscription to a different thing, would get you about 100 to 200 games.
I know. But can we talk about the funny thing that happened out of this? Because I need to talk about something lighthearted now, because I'm starting to get a bit down from this.
The last thing I would then say is, in future, what we all need to do is pay attention to monetization in video games, because look at the slippery slope.
Yeah.
The item shop just for customizable. Then it wasn't for customizable, it was for using... I don't know what happened to my voice there. Then it was for non-customizable in-game effect stuff. Then a weapon got put in it. Now they've locked the best parts of a potentially working Fallout 76 behind a subscription service.
Yeah.
Slippery slope.
Slippery slope.
Slippery slope.
But anyway, so a gentleman by the name of David Chapman from Indiana, in the US of the A, bought up the domain name almost instantly. Yeah,
he bought because Bethesda never secured the domain name to Fallout first.
Nope. So it cost him £27.46 to do this, or $27.46 or £21.40 to set the site up, and it's just a massive mick of taking the Mickey out of this site. So it's called the actual website is Fallout first spelt like the word, not the number, .com. But I would say it's quite sweary.
Yeah, so we'll just exclude. You can go and look at it if you want. Just a disclaimer there that it's a bit sweary. But other than that,
it's funny to read through. It's funny to read through because you, after hearing all these kind of stories, you're like, yeah.
The style I would put to it would be if you were to watch a sketch show and the person if it was like a sketch of a customer service line, and the person was actually telling you what was going to happen as opposed to like, oh, we worked very hard at that. It was more of a case of, well, we'll look at that for 5 minutes and then not bother and you'll be forced to phone back after an hour. It was that sort of style.
Yeah, it was. Basically, I think he did it so that there would be like open communication about the monetization of games.
Yeah.
And where it's basically what you were just saying there.
Aye.
Yeah.
Because if this doesn't work for Fallout, will they shut it down or will they turn around and slide even further?
Slide further, probably.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's all we have to say about Bethesda. I've just got a little bit to say about the PS5, because over the last couple months there's been a lot of speculation. There's still speculation, but nothing's yet as of properly confirmed.
Yeah.
Because they were releasing pictures, and the first one was of like quite a night of almost like looks a bit like a spaceship, and it was all black. And now there's a new picture going around where it's a bit more grey, like harking back to the older colours.
The first one, I think they've all been black since, but the first one was grey.
Yeah. So what they're saying is that the final design may look a bit different from that, if not completely different. We don't know how true these pictures are that are leaked. Somebody apparently leaked it, but I would think they would... Is that a real leak? You know what I mean? You know when somebody leaked, in inverted commas, the test footage for Deadpool, the original one. So apparently some things have been confirmed. It will have a late 2020 release date, so between October and December. So, for the Christmas market, for all the presents to be put under the tree.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
It will still play discs.
Good.
Yeah.
I don't think we're ready for disclessness yet.
Yeah, because, and like I said, the end design may differ from what we've been seeing so far with the photos. Now, in terms of pricing, people have guessed, because the PS4 and the PS4 Pro was around £349, that it'll probably be about £100 more than that. So you're looking at roughly $450 for it.
That's still far better than the original release price of the PS3.
I can't even remember how much that was.
That was like 600.
So yeah, that was a lot. But anyway, so people have been talking about backwards compatibility. It seems like it probably will be more or less PS4 compatible, compact, like compatible.
Compatible.
Yeah.
That's the word you're looking for.
Yeah, I did say that, and then I went to say a different word.
Then you said compact for some reason.
Compactable. But people have been saying a lot of rumors saying that it might be backwards compatible back to the original one.
Fully backpack, yeah.
Yeah, so that means that you'll be playing games from the mid to late 90s. So I'll be able to play my Rugrats.
No, I think...
Search for Reptar if I ever find the disc and buy the PS5.
Pardon me. I think that that's something that they have to do because I think that PlayStation and Nintendo have the drop on Xbox. They've got the advantage, but they don't want to let that backpack stuff slide.
Yeah.
Because it's the one thing Xbox really does have.
Because you're also going to be able to play 4K Blu-ray DVDs on it.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing: what I will be saying is that if they weren't going to make it backwards compatible, I doubt they'd put in a disc tray. Because let's face it, if they've got an online streaming service, you can stream a 4K movie that way.
I think it's also to do with the fact that a lot of people like to buy their discs. A lot of people still like to do
Yeah,
that.
but what I'm saying is that if we're looking at the next gen of gaming consoles and things like that, I would think that with it being having a disc, being able to take discs, it's more likely it might be backwards compatible.
That's one thing that about the Xbox. There's a version of the Xbox with no disc player, and that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Because...
No, I think it's the Google one. There's like a Google one that's...
No, but I think there's an Xbox with no disc tray as well to cut
right.
some of the price, I think. But the point is, what's the point in that?
Yeah.
Because your backpack has now gone out the window, and that was your big selling point.
Yeah.
So that doesn't make any sense. Like, the one thing about the Xbox that the others can't do as easily is play backpack games because it's all the same physical and software. It's all based on the same software and physical concept. Like, you can't put a GameCube disc inside a disc tray that uses full size.
Yeah.
But you can put an Xbox Classic disc into an Xbox One because it's the same type of disc.
Yeah.
So that's the thing they really have to... The PlayStation 1 was different, but the PlayStation 3 could play those discs fine, so there must be some way to do it.
Yeah, PlayStation 2 can play PlayStation 1 games, so that's why I use.
Yeah, so there's a way to get that to work, but I don't know why the Xbox would... I'm assuming that that's either a spoof or a decision that's not going to go anywhere, or possibly just a small thing
It
like
is
you
a
can
mad.
order
It
one.
is a bit of a mad design, though. The pictures that are circling around, you know, like the one that looks a bit like a spaceship.
Like it looks a bit like a Covey dropship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a bizarre design.
Aye.
Do you think it's going to look like that, or do you think it's going to be drastically different?
If I was to say anything, I would actually say that looks like a DVD/stereo system.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is...
But I'm trying to work out if it would be... That's fine. I mean, I agree with you. I'm trying to work out if it would be that. And
Or do you think this is just a master plan that they have where it's going to look nothing like it whatsoever?
I think it's probably faked. Both consoles will have fake pictures until they release at the E3, I think, would probably be the big thing.
I think that... Here's the thing, when it was a fully black case, that looked really nice and sleek. Seeing it in like a grey, I don't know if you've seen those pictures. No. Doesn't look that great.
I don't think we'll know what it looks like till E3.
Yeah.
At best, they'll release the actual look of it in amongst a dozen other options, and then that'll be part of it.
Unless what they're trying to do is with this... Maybe one of the reasons people think it's going to be completely backwards compatible, maybe because it's kind of like trying to hark back to the original design of the PS1. Because if you've got a grey, and PS1 was the only one that was grey, and you've got a bit of more of a boxy look, which is what, because the PS1 was definitely very boxy.
It was a box, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a case of pop, would you like a chocolate?
Kind of looks like if you took a PS1 controller, turned it upside down. That's a bit what it looks like.
That's a bit what it looks like, aye.
Yeah.
Well, any PlayStation controller, but especially the PlayStation 1, because it's grey.
Do you think that might be... Do you think that might...
No, I genuinely... I wouldn't be surprised if
Do you think someone's just taken a picture of it upside down? PS1 controller.
I wouldn't be surprised if they used that particular design, but the big thing about consoles I remember at the minute is that they can stand them up or lie them down. So I think that this and a couple of other designs are just there to distract us, and the actual design will be released at E3.
Yeah.
That's where I'm putting my money in.
Okay.
Or something similar to E3, like a big release thing. But I would guess at E3 because it's the biggest one. Same with Xbox.
It's not just going to be some sort of Frankenstein's monster of all the consoles put together.
No. Nintendo won't have a console though, because they released the Switch in like 2017.
They've just released a new handheld
So they won't have
Switch recently.
Which is a handheld console anyway, so I don't know what the point in that was.
Yeah, it's basically just a giant Game Boy Advance.
Or PlayStation Vita.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
We have discussed many things today. Well, not many things, but we've discussed some. We've discussed costumes.
We have discussed some things.
We've discussed Halloween.
We have disgusted our listeners.
Hopefully next year we'll have some gameplay footage of spooky things. I'm still determined for you to play.
We never got a chance to talk about the stuff that we would play that was scary.
I've only ever played one game that was scary.
Outlast?
No, I've never played it.
Oh, what did you play?
I played Slender Man.
Oh.
On the iPad.
Did you finish it?
I couldn't get all the pictures, but I didn't find it that scary. However, I then ended up making my sister play it with headphones on, and she did not like it. I've
played a few games. Like the original BioShocks were their setting was quite interesting, and there was Fear I played that was quite scary.
I hate Outlast.
I played the start of that, I think, or I was there when James did it. That was scary. I also played Thief Deadly Shadows, and that's a sort of stealth thievery game. Yeah. I really like it, but you hit the mission in the cradle, and I was 14 years old, and I had to ask my mum to come and sit with me and play it because I just couldn't get through it.
No.
I don't mind scary things in front of me, but I do not like scary things, because the problem with a video game is you don't know if it's actually there. Like in real life, if you hear someone saying, you know someone's there saying it, right?
Yeah.
But in a video game, that could just be them putting in the noise. So
yeah. It's also more eerie if you got headphones on for anything. Because it's right there, and if you feel like you can't really escape it. It's like when people play VR.
Aye.
That's funny when people play VR.
Yeah.
Because like the entire thing is that you close your eyes, but if you open your eyes again, it's still there.
Like, I know what I absolutely love.
Oh.
Is if the VR is not in. It depends on the type. It's not that common anymore, because if you move your head, you're looking at something else.
Yeah.
But there was a time when if you were just looking, it's like the TV was in front of you, right?
Yeah, you couldn't. Yeah.
So people would turn away, and it's still there because it's full.
I watched. I like watching it when they do it on television. They get TV presenters to wear VR, and they get them to do something not necessarily scary, but just anything.
Silly. It looks silly from the point of view. So they're like tightrope walking, and all we see is them going like hands out, tiptoeing forward, and yeah.
That's funny. Anyway. No, I've never played Outlast. I've seen people play it, but it's Until Dawn. That's what I want to get you to play.
Okay, right. But shall we... I mean, I think there's a police emergency happening in the background. I don't know if anybody can hear that. Yeah. So we're going to go and spy on that, and just we'll just like eavesdrop. Oh,
no, you can do that. You can do that. I'm not that weird.
I'm going to go an ambulance chase.
Oh, that's disgusting.
I know, I hate that.
That's what they call, was it lawyers or something like that in America?
Yeah, ambulance chasers.
Yeah, it's a certain type.
Pathetic. Anyway,
we hope you've enjoyed listening to us rant and rave about Halloween costumes and then non-Halloween costumes and go around trick-or-treating and then Bethesda and then stuff. PS5.
And if you did enjoy it, please leave a like.
Yes, and you can subscribe to our channel for when we next upload.
Hit the notification bell and you'll be told when we upload.
Yes.
You can also leave some comments in the comment section underneath.
Or you can follow us on Facebook at OverShadow.ShadowCast, or you can email us a direct message at overshadow.shadowcast@gmail.com. Did I get that right?
You got that correct.
Good. All that's left to do now is, I think, say bye-bye.
Yeah, so we hope to see you.
We hope that you've enjoyed this and you'll listen again.
We hope that you hear us next week and that you're actually listening to YouTube when you hear us.
And not just... randomly in your house.
Yeah, not just having some sort of breakdown. Although I think we could elucidate...
We'll find you in your nightmares.
I think we could cause a couple of breakdowns. We could...
you've caused a couple of breakdowns, don't you worry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so goodbye.
So we'll see you there. Bye.